Hey friends, welcome to another edition of Big Al's Rockin' Podcast. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe, like, and share. This week I have musician Christian Shields on the line with me. How you doing, Christian?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Right on. You have a current single out called Fall Like Rain. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, Fall Like Rain is the new single that's currently out. There's a music video for it available on YouTube if you guys want to check that out. It was a very fun song to make. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears went into it, and I think you guys will like it.
Talk about how the song came to be.
Well, I was working on some demos with John Moyer from Disturbed, and out of that session, a demo for Fall Like Rain came to be. And then when I went to work with my actual producer, Kevin Gutierrez, we re-demoed a new version of the song, basically took it apart, rewrote it with me, him, and my guitar player. And then we came up with the version of Fall Like Rain that you guys hear today.
And is there a story behind Fall Like Rain, or is it just one of those things that happened in a writing session?
Well, no. The story is it's from personal experience. Coincidentally, my guitar player and I were both going through similar relationship situations, so it was pretty easy to write the song from both his and I um, experiences on the matter. So that's basically what Fall Like Rain is about. It's pretty much what Marshall and I were going through at that time.
Right on. Before that, you put your first EP out approximately 5 years ago. Is that correct?
Well, my first record, my full length, this is rock and roll. I haven't done an EP with this project.
Okay, well, we'll have to smack Dave around because he gave me bad information.
That's okay. Look, some things get lost in translation, but no, this is rock and roll. I did it 5 years ago. We lost 2 years because of COVID, basically. So, it's still new to everybody who hasn't heard it. So I encourage everybody to check out that record.
Well, talk a little bit about that record. How many songs are on it? Give us some song titles, any stories behind any of the songs.
So this is rock and roll, has 10 tracks on it. I would say rock and roll, lie to me, off the track, some of the highlights. A lot of these songs were demos I had kicking around before I did this project. I was in other bands, but then when all that stuff went belly up, and I decided to do a solo project, I wanted to go back to my rock roots. So that's where a lot of these songs come from. And that's what ended up on the This Is Rock and Roll record.
So you started performing at a relatively young age. When did you start? Well, I should say performing professionally.
Well, I mean, minus like high school stuff, I would say professional performance since I was probably about 15 or 16 doing big shows. Like we did Loco Bazooka 2006 for WAAF in Boston. That was when I was 15, I believe. Yeah. I think Alice in Chains and Buckcherry were the headliner. And then, but yeah, right around that time. But I would consider myself a full-time professional musician pretty much since I was 19 years old.
Fair enough. Dave tells me that you've been on tour with bands like Pretty Boy Floyd and Trickster.
Yeah, so we just completed well, we did a short run here in Texas with Pretty Boy Floyd and Trickster, but in the springtime we did a tour with Trickster, Pretty Boy Floyd, and then Enough's Enough joined us on some dates, and that was a lot of fun.
Do you have any fun stories from those tours?
Well, surprisingly, everything was pretty everything was pretty smooth sailing, like a well-oiled machine. I would say actually this. So when we did a show in Eagle Pass, Texas, actually, with Trickster and Pretty Boy Floyd, the show was supposed to start at 8 o'clock, and we were like, it's right on the border with Mexico, but we were like, where's the sound guy? Well, the sound guy happened to live in Mexico, so when the show was supposed to start, we asked the club owner, we're like, hey, where's the production team, basically. And he's like, hold on a second. And he called him and he's like, oh, he goes, the guy's in Mexico. I mean, everybody's going to be like, oh, I mean, it's right there across the border, but it still takes, some time to get over, but like 15 minutes later, he showed up at the venue, but we thought that was a pretty funny little thing that, he went home instead of staying at the show, which is fine.
So that kind of leads into the next thing I was going to ask. During these tours, did you have any kind of Spinal Tap moments?
Yeah, actually, so I would say most it didn't really happen to us, but it happened to PJ Farley from Trickster. Like he was having an issue where like for a couple shows his bass was like cutting out and we couldn't figure it out. And we were like, they were wondering if it was like our wireless equipment that was interfering with their stuff. He changed the battery on the bass. He was trying everything, but then it just turned out that it was just the cable between the wireless and the input that was bad. It's
Yeah,
little
we
stuff like that you don't necessarily think of, but it's usually the simplest solution is the correct one.
anybody that is a musician has been there, including
Yeah.
myself.
And I'll share another thing. So we had rented a trailer from U-Haul, and for some reason, I think the hinge on it when it goes, because it was one of the doors that go up, with the hinge on it was like kind of janky. So if you let the door go up too high, it would get stuck. And of course, we can't hurt our hands. So we're all in there with like a pry bar trying to get the door down. And, it took us a couple shows before we were like really careful with it. But there was still a couple times where we let the door go all the way up and it would get stuck. And it was just little things like that.
Again, it's happened to all of us.
Of course.
So, what do you have coming up in regards to maybe a new single or a new album?
Well, I'm gonna do singles for the time being. I don't think albums make sense financially. Also, if you look at the way people consume music now, overall, they just add singles to playlists. So I'm currently working on the next single, and then hopefully I should have some shows to announce for 2026 very shortly.
Right on. Is there anything else you would like to talk about?
No, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the gist of everything that's going on.
All right. Well, tell my listeners where they can find you online.
All right. So christianshields.net, facebook.com/Christian Shields Live, x.com/C Shields Live, Instagram and TikTok at Christian Shields Live, youtube.com/Christian Shields Live. I'm on all music platforms, Spotify, Apple Music. Google me, I'll come up. And then also, you guys are my record label. Join my Patreon, patreon.com/Christian Shields. You guys help keep me on the road and help me creating new music.
All right, Christian. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for listening to Big Al's Rockin' Podcast. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to subscribe on your preferred podcast outlet. Visit BigAlRocks.com to find past episodes, on-demand links to my radio show, links to my social media, and other Big Al shenanigans. Most importantly, please like and share this episode. Peace out.